What's up, guys? I'm back with another tier list video. Today, we're going to be discussing the best trash talkers in the UFC, but this is only going to be fighters that are currently still signed to the UFC, so not past fighters. So, yeah, let's get right into it. You saw him in the thumbnail, the first guy, Colby Covington, in the B tier. Maybe he could be A, but I'll put him in the B tier because his trash talk. He does trash talk a lot, but his trash talk is very bad, and he stumbles over his words a lot. And a lot of the stuff he says doesn't make sense. So he sounds like he's like an eighth grader trying to trash talk to some kids in his class. So yeah, Colby Covington, he messes up over his lines. He his trash talk is very repetitive, and it's just. But he does try, and he does make press conferences entertaining. So I think him in the B tier is fair. Moving right along, let's go with the newly crowned champion Merab. We'll put him in the C tier. Merab, most of his trash talk is just playful, just to get a jab at the opponent, especially I've noticed recently that if the people in the crowd that are trash talking him, he's going for him in the crowd, saying, "Hey, what'd you say?" Pulling guys by the hair. Some Harab's hilarious. He says a lot of funny things. You can't take him serious because he's 5'6" and looks like a goblin, but he is funny at trash talking. And I wouldn't even call it trash talking. I'd call it playful talking. But nonetheless, he makes it entertaining. So we'll put him in the C tier. Moving on. Let's go with Manel Kape. I'm going to put Manel Kape in the A tier. Manel Kape, man, do y'all remember whenever he was at that press conference with Israel Adesanya and he was cooking him at the press conference in his third language, English? That was hilarious. Manel Kape, always talking shit, always bringing it to the other fighter he's fighting. Very funny. Very underrated trash talker in the flyweight division, and we know flyweight needs trash talkers because, good lord, who is watching flyweight fights these days? Call me a casual. But yeah, Manel Kape in the A tier. He's had some funny one-liners. He unfortunately lost his last fight to Makhachev, but going forward, I still think he's going to be entertaining if you put him at a press conference. If you have Manel Kape there, prepare to be entertained. Moving right along, Paddy Pimblett, C tier for Paddy. Now C tier, he gets an automatic bump because his accent's funny. So when he talks smack, you really can't take him that serious. Like, mate, I'm a scouser. We don't get knocked out. But Paddy Pimblett is quite funny, but his trash talk isn't the best. Like he talked some trash to Bobby Green and Jared Gordon and recent opponents. He's talked a lot of trash to Ilia Topuria, calling him the hand sanitizer bottle boy or something like that. So yeah, Paddy's he can be entertaining on the mic, but he's not wowing me. He's not bringing the heat to all the press conferences. I'm not like, wow, look, Paddy on the mic. He can be kind of boring sometimes. So C tier, I think, is fair. Moving along, Conor McGregor. We'll put him in the A tier. Now, old Conor probably would have been S tier, but since he's been coked up on yachts partying with Madonna, he ain't been the same guy. So he needs to get in the octagon and put down the drugs and partying, and maybe we can see a return of the old Mystic Mac, who at 2015 and 2016 press conferences, this dude was hilarious. Like, everything he said could be quoted and put online. His trash talking was next level. In the Dustin Poirier trilogy, his trash talk was a little cringe, but I did like that he brought it back. Either way, Conor McGregor, a legendary trash talker, so A tier. Can't put him in S tier because he's not what he used to be, but I think A tier is fair for Conor McGregor. Moving along, Islam Makhachev. I'm going to put Islam in the A tier. I'm going to put B tier. B tier for Makhachev, not A. He's unintentionally funny because a lot of the stuff he says is just facts, and saying it in his Russian and Dagestani accent just makes it even funnier. Like, brother, who give this guy black belt? We need to check this. Like, that was hilarious whenever he said that about Dustin Poirier and other fighters. And he's right. A lot of UFC fighters have a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and they're not good on the ground. So, valid criticism. But Islam, he's always funny. He's always roasting people unintentionally. Yeah, I think Islam is funny. You put him at a press conference, you put him in a media scrum, he's going to say something funny. You put him in an interview with DC, you'll get a good chuckle or two. So I think B tier for Islam is the right pick. Moving along, Belal Muhammad, C tier. Now, I don't like Belal, you know this. Belal is a boring champion. Dude can't finish a fly. But he does say some pretty funny stuff on Twitter and about other fighters. He low-key be cooking on Twitter with some funny responses, some funny replies. So, Belal Muhammad in the C tier. Um, Maybe since he's become champ and people are going to be coming for him, he can spit out some even more funny stuff. I'm looking forward to it, but can't say I'm looking forward to his fights because his fights are duds. But yeah, he is funny. Maybe you should try and take what he puts on Twitter and put in interviews and press conferences, and he can become even more funny. But yeah, just look up Belal Muhammad roasting people on Twitter, and you'll get some pretty funny stuff. So I think C tier is fair for him. Moving along, John Jones. I'm gonna put John Jones in the A tier. And the reason I put John Jones in the A tier is because like his trash talk, whenever he trash talk to some people, it was like dark. Like you could tell this dude's like got like a serial killer mindset. Like if he trash talks you, he what he's saying is like I really believe it. And sometimes he told Daniel Cormier he beat him after a weekend of cocaine. And ever since he's been ducking Tom Aspinall, I'm not gonna lie, it's hard for you to take this guy serious about anything. But in the past, trash talking, pretty much telling Anthony Smith he was nothing, that he was just another pawn in the game and stuff like that. John Jones, or whenever he told DC, "There is nothing you can do to stop me. Every ounce of training you put into this fight will be a waste of your life." That was entertaining. So John Jones, his trash talk is very strong and like believable because you really think he believes what he's saying. So A tier, I think, is fair. Moving on to the next person, I'll go Dominick Cruz in the A tier as well. Dominick Cruz, I know he doesn't trash talk as much anymore these days. He's commentating and he's getting older. So, but man, back in the day when he was cooking Cody Garbrandt so much that Cody Garbrandt took off the headset and wanted to come fight him in the next room. And then he had the interview with TJ Dillashaw. That was great. He cooked him. So Dominick Cruz has always been, I would call him a truth talker, not a trash talker, because he's just saying facts, and the other people can't handle the facts, so they get butthurt, they get in their feelings, and they get offended and start crying and want to walk out the interview. So yeah, Dominick Cruz always entertaining on the mic. Whenever, even the press conference at UFC 199 in 2016, where he was just roasting Uriah Faber, saying all kind of funny stuff. That was great. In recent years, not the most trash talk. He's fought pretty friendly opponents, so there hasn't been much trash talk to say. But Dominick Cruz in the A tier, given his history of good trash talking, I think is fair. Moving on, Ian the P head Garry, C tier. Not the best trash talker, but he at least tries. He tries to talk some smack. A lot of the stuff he says falls flat because of his situation with his wife. It's kind of a meme at this point. But Ian Garry, you watch his interviews, he does try. He tries to get the fans entertained and say a couple funny one-liners and kind of he can come off as a Conor McGregor wannabe sometimes, but we'll see. Um, did y'all see that? Speaking of trash talk, did y'all see that tweet Shavkat put up saying that I know you, Ian, I know you and you and your wife and a nutritionist go 25 minutes, but that doesn't mean me and you will. That was hilarious. If you've seen that, you know. But yeah, Ian Garry in the C tier. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. Moving along, Dustin Poirier in the B tier. Dustin Poirier B tier. Um, really underrated trash talk at times, especially in the Conor McGregor trilogy. He had some pretty funny one-liners. They asked him like Conor McGregor. He said something to Conor, and Dustin was like, "Cause he got knocked the heck out." That was funny. And just his last fight with Makhachev, he called Makhachev a mother effer, and Makhachev got offended because where he's from, that's offensive. But Dustin Poirier obviously didn't mean it that way. And yeah, Dustin Poirier, over the years, he's had some pretty funny things to say about some fighters, but nothing that's gonna like, you know, pull you out of your seat and be like, "Wow, Dustin Poirier." I'm actually gonna move him to the C tier because now that I think about it, not the most entertaining trash talker in the world, but he does say some good stuff here and there. So moving along, let's go with Sean Strickland. Sean, I'm gonna put him in the A tier. Sean Strickland. If you see a Sean Strickland press conference, you've seen him, you've seen one, you've seen them all, but either way, they're all entertaining. They're hilarious. He's like, "Here's the fucking thing, you guys, this guy, guys." Whenever he was at the press conference, absolutely frying Izzy about his dog and just stuff like that. And then he had the press conference with Dricus and the press conference with Costa. So, which was the one with Costa was kind of boring, not gonna lie. But overall, Sean Strickland at press conferences and in general in interviews, he said he plays it up for the camera a bit for sure. I don't think he's actually like he is on camera all the time, but he is funny. He does trash talk, and yeah, if there's a press conference and Sean Strickland's in it, I'm watching. So A tier for Sean Strickland. Moving along, let's go with Ilia Topuria in the B tier. Ilia, he's very cocky in his trash talk, and it's worked for him so far because so far he's never lost. And he's done everything he said he was going to do. He even put in his profile on Instagram before he beat Volkanovski that he was already the featherweight champion, which was quite funny. And people were like, yeah, this dude's going to get fraud checked by Volk. But he ended up knocking him out. So, and now he's saying he's going to finish Max Holloway in the first round, which is crazy because Max has never even barely been dropped by Gaethje, never been dropped outside of that in his whole UFC career. So to hear him say he's going to drop and finish Max Holloway in the first round is crazy. But yeah, he had the beef with Paddy Pimblett. He's had beef with most of the guys he's fought because he's very brash and very cocky. But hey, can't really argue with the guy. He's done everything he said he's going to do. Entertaining, comes off as kind of forced sometimes. That's why I have him in the B tier. It's not as fluid as it could be, but Ilia Topuria in the B tier. And last but not least, there's only one left for S tier. Dricus du Plessis. Dricus has to go in the S tier. He's made Sean Strickland and Adesanya cry in back-to-back press conferences. Bro, if you have grown men that are UFC fighters crying at press conferences, you're doing something right. Dricus' trash talk is so fluid. It's so like just he does it so effortlessly. It's amazing. Like he just says exactly what he needs to say, and the other guy just kind of sits there and looks stupid. So he's done that throughout his whole UFC career, especially to Sean Strickland and Izzy. Whenever he brought up the dog, like whenever he told Izzy, bro, nobody said anything about dogs, chill out. And then he asked him if he brought the servants, and Israel Adesanya started yelling, "You don't know where I come from," and said, "Yeah," started crying, and then he brought up Sean Strickland getting beat by his dad, and Sean Strickland started crying. But so that whole thing, dude, back to back press conferences making guys cry and just overall an underrated trash talker. I think on Twitter recently, Hamzat was saying we need to get like a real champion because we don't need a gay champion like Dricus. And Dricus was like, you need to worry about getting into the octagon any fight because you can't make it to the octagon. That was funny. Um, but yeah, that's the tier list for today. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments, if you would add anybody or move anybody. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I will catch y'all in the next tier list. Thank you.